Pittsburgh. Got a melting pot and get him a found fondue.
Oh God, these two.
Yeah, too high, Bob.
I know.
We're having fun. Alright, smile. Oh my God, who would these things?
Yeah, I want to do a couple videos.
I don't want videos.
No. So many mirrors in the bathroom of the Hard Rock.
Is he allowed on the stage?
Just ate at the Hard Rock. You ready for the Gateway Clipper? Absolutely. She's ready. They're ready. All thumbs up for the Gateway Clipper. Woo! Gateway Majestic Clipper. It's really not that important, but I thought it was cool how that giant rock's just sticking out on Mount Washington's hill.
Oh shit. Cut that out. No.
You're going crazy on us.
You're crazy.
Hopefully it's not broke.
Oh good, you already tested
Ready
it.
to go? You ladies ready?
Ready, spaghetti?
Ready, spaghetti.
We're going on the Queen. She don't care.
The Gateway Clippers Three Rivers Queen for our 1 hour sightseeing cruise.
You can go.
We're pulling away in approximately 10 minutes, but we did want to let you know, of course, this is our happy hour cruise, and so the bar is currently already open. You visit the second deck where Sean is actually waiting your arrival. We have some great drink specials for our happy hour cruise, as well as some signature cocktails such as the Golden Anchor Lemonade, a delightful mix of raspberry liqueur, vodka, and lemonade, or the Jolly Roger, which is banana liqueur, spiced rum, and lemonade. Off the menu, but no less delightful, is what we call a Pittsburgh Vice, a specialty cocktail that blends together banana liqueur, spiced rum, pina colada, and strawberry daiquiri mix all blend together to delightful. So once again, the bar is open on the second deck. But for the kids, we also have a great selection of soft drinks, as well as bagged snacks, candy, hot dogs, nachos, and all-day lollipops. So once again, it is our happy hour cruise, so go ahead and visit Sean. The bar is open. Thank you.
In the unlikely event of an emergency, I will announce instructions and procedures. Life jacket lockers aboard this vessel can be found in the following locations: first deck bow or front of the boat, the second deck stern or rear of the boat, and the third deck behind.
It was completed in 2015, and that angled rooftop has thousands of solar cells put into it. The Tower P&Z Plaza is one of the greenest skyscrapers ever built. We are told that at one time it was a dock for hundreds of flatboats, keelboats, and even steamships at the height of Pittsburgh's riverboat construction era of the early to mid 1800s. Certainly our most distinctive skyscraper is next in line. It looks like a tall glass palace, doesn't it? It was even designed to resemble English Parliament. That's PPG Place. and PPG Place is the world headquarters of PPG Corporation, which at one time stood for Pittsburgh Plate Plants. It was built out of their marquee material, and so PPG Plate Bridge carries 150,000 cars a day across its span. 4 lanes of traffic, upper level and lower level, into and out of the city. But if you decide to take the Fort Pitt Bridge, you better be a well-experienced driver or have nerves of steel.
That's true.
Because the upper level and lower level can prove to be a bit of a challenge. But the British general, John Forbes, who took Fort Duquesne from the French and established Fort Pitt for the British, was of Scottish descent. And so he would have pronounced it Pittsboro. So the village of Pittsboro was chartered in 1758. We don't know exactly how long it took us as Pittsburghers to smash that together from 3 syllables into 2, but of course you know it today, and love it today, as Pittsburgh. Well, this time we're approaching a very intriguing spot on our journey, which is the confluence of the 3 rivers. This is where the Monongahela River that we are currently sailing on comes together with the Allegheny River on the other side of the point to form the Ohio River. Because of these 3 rivers, Pittsburgh is accessible via waterway from anywhere on the Monongahela River as a mud-bottom river, so it is not polluted, not anymore. It just has a mud bottom, so it always looks filthy. On a good clear day, you can often see the dividing line between the Mon and the other rivers, which are sand and gravel-based rivers. The Monongahela River is also unique in the fact that it does not have a single island in its entire length, which is very unusual for a river of its size. What makes the Fort Duquesne Bridge so unique is the fact that it was completed many years before the connecting interstate. So for the longest period of time, the Fort Duquesne Bridge simply stopped over the Allegheny River. Locals called it the Bridge to Nowhere, with good reason. Well, like any active construction zone, the end of the Bridge to Nowhere had plenty of concrete barriers, traffic cones, and warning signs. Did that stop a University of Pittsburgh student in 1964 from driving his family's 1959 station wagon off the Bridge to Nowhere? It did not. Somehow this young man navigated past all those barriers, the car flipped once in the air and landed roof first in the Allegheny River. We like to share that story because miraculously he survived. And since been the subject of much jokedom, scorn, and ridicule for decades. A local radio station even held a concert. As we pass under the bridge, even as we approach it, the tallest building in the city will come plainly into view. It's that tall, dark brown, triangular-shaped skyscraper with the UPMC logo at the top of it. Today it's called the USX Tower, but when it was first built, it was known as the US Steel Building, was the world headquarters for United States Steel. They too wanted their world headquarters built out of their marquee material.
Tallest building right there.
Steel called Core 10, which was designed to rust over the course of several months, and that top layer of rust protects the metal underneath. That's why it has that dark brown complexion to it. But when it was built in the late 60s, Pittsburgh was dealing with some pretty bad acid rain. And so the U.S. Steel Building rusted not over the course of several months, but just a few weeks, causing no small degree of damage to the city streets below. Tens of thousands of dollars in sidewalk had to be replaced due to all the rust stains, and they had to install canopies at the entrances of the tower so that workers could get inside without being pelted by rust. But today the USX Tower does stand as a towering monument to Pittsburgh's steel manufacturing legacy. It's the tallest building in the city at 64 stories tall. It's the 5th tallest in the state and the 200th in the world. The second of our 3 sister bridges is the Andy Warhol Bridge, in honor of the world-famous pop culture artist who was born and raised here in Pittsburgh. Although growing up here, Andy Warhol did not have a lot of nice things to say about the city.
1932, that was the tallest building in Pittsburgh.
So at night, if the weather was bad, the pyramid would blink blue. If the weather was good, it would blink orange. Well, that's pretty easy to remember. But in 2012, the Golf Tower underwent its own major renovation, and all the old neon was replaced by LED lighting. Today, Andy Warhol would be proud, because only New York City has more venues dedicated to the performing arts, museums, and galleries in the nation. One such venue now coming into view is Stage AE. Stage AE holds the distinction of being one of only a handful of venues across the country that can host both indoor and outdoor concerts. Located directly in front of Stage AE is the third of our 3 dedications to our armed services, the World War II War Memorial. We can see the full circle series of spires jutting up from the ground, surrounding Old Glory, flying proudly and reverently overhead. The World War II War Memorial. Coming up next is the
Gotta get myself
in there.
Gotta get my high field picture.
In the keyhole that restored bridge pier.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Changing as we continue along the Ohio River, Another well-known Pittsburgh landmark comes into view, the Carnegie Science Center. You certainly can't miss those bright red letters, nor can you use a look to be an upside-down lampshade, which as it turns out is a weather vane. The Carnegie Science Center has been referred to as an amusement park for the mind, with over 250 different interactive exhibits inside the Carnegie Science Center. But of those 250 different interactive exhibits inside the Carnegie Science Center, its most intriguing exhibit is floating outside in the Ohio River right next to us. A World War II era submarine called the USS Requin. The USS Requin was commissioned in April of 1945. This was built toward the end of World War II. It never did see any battle action, but it did serve the Navy for several decades as a training vessel. There have even been sailors who served on the USS Requin, just take its turn just like this one in the Cuban Clipper Fleet, who insist that they hold the record for the longest undersea dive, although it has not been corroborated. The USS Requin, which is French for shark, could house up to 88 sailors.
The richest coal
It started drizzling. Lori and Trinity ran inside. Oh, there she comes.
Is you had a view of the city from Mount Washington. It was generally obscured by haze and smog, spewing from the many smokestacks of the factories that dotted the rivers.
Yeah,
In
I'm
those
about
days,
to.
Pittsburgh
Because of the extensive number of corporations that work in the high-tech industry here. Corporations such as Uber and Google and Amazon. Uber continues to test their driverless cars in the same city streets once navigated by factory workers rushing to the many mills and foundries that churned out the iron and steel that built this nation and won its wars. Over to the right side, we get a great view of the second of our two historic inclines. This is the Duquesne incline, which first opened
On a
the park
boat.
in 1874. When it first opened, the Duquesne incline did a pretty healthy business. The 5-cent toll seemed reasonable, but in 1909, you better be in really great shape or really tight with your money, because it'll take you about 1,000 steps to climb, be about a mile in total distance. Still, the poor immigrant workers that lived atop Mount Washington refused to pay the 5-cent toll of the incline and instead favored the Indian Trail steps. The owners of the incline, they were becoming a bit frantic. That only people from Pittsburgh would be able to identify from the incline. So reluctantly, he agreed to make it a trolley. But that trolley's distinctive red and gold color scheme is designed to directly mirror that of the cars that are still in use today on the Duquesne incline. 25 million taxpayer dollars. Then Governor Tom Corbett wanted to have a grand unveiling of the all-new fountain. Now, because it's a particularly gusty, windy day, he was concerned. But if that brand new fountain could not reach its maximum height of 150 feet due to the restrictions placed on it by the wind sensors, it might be perceived as a failed. We would say you ones. But eventually we'd smash it together and say yins. We don't care for OUs and OWs in this town. We don't say things like downtown or cloudy or half an hour. Say downtown, cloudy, half hour. That's far more efficient. And it's not just that harsh, nasally accent people have a tough time dealing with. It's certain words and phrases that it turns out don't necessarily translate to the rest of the country. I'll give you a few prime examples. We don't drink soda in this town, we drink pop. We don't push carts to the supermarket, we push buggies to the supermarket. And while we're in the supermarket, we don't order sliced ham, we order chip-chopped ham from Isaac's. It doesn't matter that you're standing in a Giant Eagle or Shop and Save or that Isaac's closed 50 years ago, we have chip-chopped ham from Isaac's. We don't clean, we rent up. And when we rent up, we don't vacuum the carpet, we run the sweeper. We don't wear bandanas, we wear babushkas. Just make sure you say hello to Marlon, our photographer, on your way out. He is modeling his light green paisley babushka, and he looks quite dashing in it. If you're walking through the forest and you brush up against a prickly bush, it's a jagger bush. It's also how we refer to ourselves in a not-so-nice fashion. I will not repeat it because this is, after all, a family boat. But it just made its way into the Webster's Dictionary for the very first time.
Jag off.
If you're walking across a surface without particularly good traction, it's slippy. If you like your eggs somewhere between slicing up over easy, like them dippy. If you're a busybody and put your nose on people's affairs, then you are nebby. So we'll close things out with a sentence that might be stated by a typical human being. I'm going to translate Pittsburghese for you. Would you, friends, care for a trip to the downtown area in approximately 30 minutes time to enjoy a frosty malt beverage concocted of fermented hops and barley, or thereabouts? Translation. Hey, these guys want to go downtown about a half hour, go pop an iron net. Today's lesson in Pittsburghese is brought to you at No Legends.
Coming to an end.
Fiction, truth, or bald-faced lies. Spoiler alert. Yeah, they're true.
Did you two have a good time?
City of Champions is our sports store.
You enjoying it?
This fall, launch at Pittsburgh. All the things that
We're
go
finally
back
docking.
on the rivers.
Coming down.
So
Her
we're doing
jack
today's
is still there that she left there.
Join us in the future on another cruise. One final reminder,
Yep,
you
no
go back
thieves
down,
here in
our great
Pittsburgh.
photographer who's at the end of the gangplank. You take one more peek at that photo and inform you might find appropriate. And I look forward to greeting you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Gilly Clippers. This
is how it talks.
Hope to see you again very soon.
Trying to see it go down. It's not going down. I thought it was going to go down, but. We are officially docked. We made it. Pittsburgh. Hey, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Thanks very much.
You got your hoodie. That's awesome they didn't forget it or somebody didn't take it. That's cool. Definitely had a good time. I would recommend doing the Gateway Clipper. It was fun.